Do you know how your local government runs? Do you know any of your representatives and what they stand for? It's important for citizens that live in a democracy to familiarize themselves with how their government works and be politically active. While the following program focuses on one specific local government, the information is still valuable to people in other communities because the functions of your local government may be similar. Welcome to Waldo, Wisconsin. Waldo, Wisconsin is a small community located in Sheboygan County, roughly 14 miles west of Lake Michigan. This village is home to about 500 people. Some notable individuals, including painter George Pollard, once called Waldo their home. I think the best part about living in Waldo is the sense of community. Even if you don't know each other's names, you know each other's faces. It's a very safe, wonderful place to live. Unlike many other communities, Waldo does not have a mayor. Instead, Waldo is governed by a village president, village clerk, village administrator, and a board of trustees. These individuals work together as members of the Waldo board and help make Waldo the community that it is. The village administrator and village clerk are paid positions. The board also consists of 4 trustees, who are Waldo residents that are elected by their community, as well as a village president, who was also chosen via an election. Board members are up for re-election every 2 years. 2 board members are up for election at one time, meaning there is an election every year. A village president is elected every 4 years. In order to be on the ballot, a candidate needs to fill out nomination paperwork and get signatures from village residents of voting age. The number of signatures a candidate needs depends on voter turnout in the previous election. Even if someone's name does not appear on the ballot, write-ins are allowed. In special circumstances, such as a board member passing away, a new member can be appointed by the board without a formal election process, though that individual will appear on the ballot in the following election and can still be voted out. The Board of Trustees are essentially a check and balance to the village clerk. The clerk writes out checks and handles much of the local economy, and the rest of the board holds that person accountable. In addition, when a new clerk is chosen, the board has a say in who gets the position. The village president chooses someone based on their application and qualifications, and the rest of the board must approve that person in order for them to be officially hired. The board oversees creation of rules within the community. While these are not laws, residents are expected to follow them. For example, Waldo residents must purchase a permit in order to burn outdoors. This rule was enacted based on votes by the board. Due to the small size of the board, a proposal typically needs 3 trustees' votes, or 75% of the vote, to pass. The board also decides if an issue needs to go to a referendum vote. One of the main responsibilities of the board relates to the village budget. Board members decide the cost of renting village property, such as the village hall, for events. The board decides which company to choose for maintenance, such as garbage pickup and water treatment plant maintenance, based on cost and research. This also includes road maintenance, as the board can decide which streets should be worked on in which order. They also decide how much to charge for water, how much to pay village employees, and how much to charge for a plot in the village-owned cemetery. The village president files the paperwork necessary for these functions, and other paperwork can be presented at meetings to be discussed with trustees before being signed. One essential function of the board is the handling of licenses, including liquor and dog licenses. Liquor licenses in particular are essential for Waldo's local economy. The village has several small businesses that sell alcohol. Temporary alcohol licenses also need the approval of the board. Other rules for businesses in Waldo tend to mimic the rules of surrounding communities, as well as state and federal law. In addition, contracts for village employees, such as the admin, are reviewed and renewed by the board. The board also has a say in public safety. Waldo does not have its own police force. Instead, the village is patrolled by cops from a neighboring town, Cascade. The board sets the number of hours of patrolling those officers will do based on community needs. Police reports are also presented at most meetings, which gives trustees an idea of how many hours to give them. These contracts are renewed on an annual basis. Like other governments, Waldo's government listens to the concerns of residents. The board's monthly meetings are open for anyone to attend, including local media. Anything discussed is made public in local newspapers by the reporter in attendance. No decision is able to be made without public knowledge. Even if, say, they just wanted to get together for a holiday party, the public has to know. That way they can be held accountable and not discuss official board matters outside of an official meeting. They're not able to make any kind of decision without the public knowing about it, and this is a way to hold them accountable for that. There are 2 direct ways for residents to bring concerns to their representatives. They will either bring complaints to the clerk or attend a board meeting themselves. As representatives of the community, trustees use resident input to make decisions. While not every concern can be addressed, Board members try their best to serve the community in a fair, agreeable way. There are fun parts to being on the village board as well. Fun community events are often finalized by the board. Every year, the Memorial Hall is utilized for a roller skating party on the same night that the town hosts trick-or-treating. This typically takes place on the Saturday before Halloween. While this is an annual tradition, the board must finalize plans that make this event possible. Some members will even volunteer at events like this. Even though the board is absolutely essential to the functioning of this community, I don't think a lot of people understand exactly how it works. I think it's very important that people understand how their local government functions and that they get involved themselves, whether that be through attending a meeting, running themselves, or even just something as simple as voting. Having a basic understanding is an important first step.